I'm Meselson.
And I'm Stahl.
And I was born May 24th, 1930.
I was born October 8th, 1929.
And this is how our experiment worked. First, we grew DNA in an N15 environment. N15 is an isotope of N14, and it is much denser. My colleague and I were thus allowed to use density labeling techniques to track the DNA. We then placed the bacteria in an N14 environment. We then placed the bacteria in a cesium chloride solution and in a centrifuge, allowing a concentration gradient to form. My colleague and I then observed a phenomenon. An intermediate type of DNA had formed. We thus concluded that DNA is a semi-conservative process, as one strand of the N15 DNA had been joined with one strand of the N14 DNA. Thank you.
Okazaki, and this is how my experiment worked. First, I placed replicating pieces of DNA in contact with short pulses of radioactive nucleotides, which is called the pulse chase method. Then I placed this DNA in an alkaline solution and spun it in an ultracentrifuge. This DNA was then analyzed for the presence of labels, and it was concluded that the label occurred on one long piece of the leading strand and in short fragments on the lagging strand. However, it was shown that these fragments appeared only temporarily while the DNA was in the process of replication, and the fragments were then incorporated into the growing DNA by ligase enzymes. These fragments are now called Okazaki fragments after myself, and result from the polymerase DNA only being able to read in the 5' to 3' direction.
First, helicase comes in, separating the DNA along with single-stranded DNA binding proteins to prevent the DNA from reassociating. When DNA replication occurs, it must occur in the 5' to 3' end. This occurs effectively in the leading strand of DNA. However, the lagging strand presents problems. The DNA can only be produced in fragments, which are separated by RNA primase. These fragments are called Okazaki fragments. Then DNA polymerase I comes in and lays down the DNA where the RNA primase I once was, and finally, DNA ligase comes in and links the Okazaki